Hi, this is Jeff, Customer Success Manager at GoPinLeads, here with your course on getting better sales using GoPinLeads. I'm just going to wait another couple of moments for additional members to join us, and then we'll begin. All right. Now let's jump in. For those of you who have just joined us, my name is Jeff. I'm the Customer Success Manager at GoPinLeads, and that's a little picture of me over there. A bit cringe, but what can you do? Today's live webinar is Better Outbound Sales with GoPinLeads. All right, let's jump straight in. So, email growth marketing is the crux of what we're talking about today in this webinar. When we say that, many of you may be asking, why email growth marketing? And the answer is simple. Email is almost 40 times more effective than Facebook and Twitter combined in helping a business acquire new customers. That's a pretty powerful statement. Marketing via email boasts a medium return on investment of 122%. So we've just started, and already we're on some pretty significantly large numbers here. So looking at these and seeing these trends in our own business as well, it makes sense to go ahead and really embrace email growth marketing as a sales strategy. Especially in the B2B space, it makes a lot of sense. Email prospecting has possibly the highest return on investment for any marketing channel. It should cost you no more than a few dollars per month, and it offers some of the fastest results available. While this very well may seem too good to be true, it is one of those things that is hung up on people's skill levels. So not everyone knows how to use emails effectively. That's where we come in, and that's exactly why you're here today in this webinar. Potentially you know exactly what to do, but more than likely you need a hand. Okay, so let's dive into the growth marketing process. It is absolutely critical to start small in your local area. You'll want to test absolutely everything you do, measure your success, and learn from your mistakes. When you know what has worked and what hasn't, it gives you the opportunity to learn from your mistakes. And that allows you to replicate what did work, replicate your success, and start over again. I'm going to stop here just to address a couple of questions. So just the one that has come up is, will this recording be available later? Absolutely, yes, it will. This will be available on our YouTube channel. If you are wondering where the comments are and how to leave a comment, all you need to do is go ahead and launch the YouTube video out of the Goodman Lantern GoPinLeads website and into YouTube itself. If you prefer to search for us on YouTube that way and find our live link there, all you need to do is go to YouTube and search for Goodman Lantern. Alternatively, it is much easier just to launch it out of the page. So once on YouTube, you'll be able to leave comments. You'll be able to see comments that are left by me and by other people as well. Okay, let's move forward. So Rodrigo, absolutely, you'll be able to pick up this webinar. At a later stage, you can watch it as many times as you like. Okay, so you've decided to try email growth marketing, and you need to know at a grassroots level what to do first. You need to understand what you're offering, you need to understand the value of it, and you need to communicate that. So what you need to do is plan your offer. You need to ask yourself some very difficult questions, such as, will it interest them? What is it worth to them? Why is it valuable? These are crucial questions that should apply every time you're about to send an email. If you don't know what's going on, if you don't know the value of your offer, it's not going to come out well on the other side. All right. The worth of your service is always a tricky topic. Many people feel that they are undervaluing themselves in their business, but they don't know how to transcend that. And the answer is to always deliver value and to always return value to your client, but always ask the third question of the value. Why is it valuable? Asking whether something is valuable opens you up to using your internal rationale to justify your gift. Your gift, your offer, your service, whatever you are wanting these people to click on out of your email campaign. If you understand instead why it is valuable, it allows you to do a lot of things better. You can target your audience a lot better, you can communicate your point a lot better, and you can get a lot better results. It's critical to remember that none of this should cost you very much, if anything at all. Everything I'm showing you today does have a free version. Obviously, with free versions, things are scaled back to around 50 leads per day. That is true for YAM. YAM is a tool that I will be teaching you about today alongside GoPinLeads. Okay, you need people to click on your emails and open them. Additionally, you need them to click on the link within your email to get them out to the landing page, to your social media, or to wherever you want to send them. Here's some ideas to make that happen. Your content should be extremely riveting. So you want people to be gripping the sides of their seat reading your content. You want them to be absolutely focused. Try and use a hot burning topic, potentially something relevant to the moment. And the political climate is generally better avoided, but other aspects of the news or local community, if that's applicable to who you're emailing, can be a great way to get people to click on your content. The content itself should be well written. in such that it makes people want to continue reading to the end. Also, remember it's an email, so anything that is within your email, you want to keep short, sweet, and to the point. You don't want to go and blind people with a ton of information from the outset, because generally long emails are not read. Free trials and communities are often very underused. So when you say join our community, what you are in fact saying to your clientele is come into the fold. Welcome to the family. You're involving them in your business in a real way. They have perceived access to the inner workings of your thought machine and your community. And it also gives you a really great way to figure out what your listeners, readers, customers are looking for. You can gauge off of the questions that they're asking and the suggestions that they give themselves, as well as really returning value to them and adding a layer to your service package that otherwise wouldn't have been there. Free trials are absolutely fantastic. Now, free trials drag people in, but they also are absolutely valuable because they give your customers an in-depth sense and real experience with what it's like to deal with you and your company. It helps them to come to terms with your services. If you have a user interface they need to come to terms with or get used to, it gives them an opportunity there as well. It's a fantastic way to present your product, your service, in the best light possible, while taunting people or bringing people into paying for a full service. With any good tool, it improves your business. So the idea is that as your tool scales their business and grows the number of results that they have from it, the more that you'll be able to convert them to paying customers as they grow. And they'll generally be very happy to do that because you've been supported from the ground up. Thank you for your comment, Johan. That's very kind of you to say. I'm glad that you're getting great use out of GoPinLeads. We are always pushing to make it more and more excellent as we go on. This brings us to point number 4. Joining webinar. That's what you've done today. You guys have come along and you've joined our webinar. And the whole point of this for us at GoPinLeads is to help you succeed with our tool. The more people that we have doing better on our system, the better it is for everyone. The more money you make, and at the same time, the better our tool performs. Joining webinars brings people really close in. You're capable of answering questions in real time, really interacting with people, and showing that you really do care. And also, just on that point of care, I want to extend to all of you the opportunity to book a free call with me, a one-to-one lesson on how to really dig in deep and get involved with your particular company, your particular target market with GoPinLeads, and to answer any questions that you may have on a more specific spectrum. All right, so number 5, event invitations. So events can look like many different things. You could have face-to-face events, you could have online events, you could have giveaways, you could have timed events as well. These can be anything from, as I mentioned, giveaways to codes that are applicable on a limited basis. Event invitations are very broad. Often you can have anything from a live online chat session all the way through to a big face-to-face conference with real-time questionnaires. The point here is to make sure that your event speaks to a real need and a real, your event speaks to a real need and brings forth a real craving in people to know more about your service or your product. At the end of the day, you're there to make life easier for them. Hi, Emma. Thank you for your comment. Just before I answer that, I just want to reiterate, anyone that's still watching on the GoPinLeads webinars page on our website, if you launch the video through to YouTube, it'll give you the opportunity to view and ask questions of your own, as well as keep track of the webinar in YouTube's native format. So Emma's question, I apologize if I'm not pronouncing your names correctly. Do you think that webinars are a good tool for local business owners? And what time should one do the webinar for? I do believe that webinars are a powerful tool for local business owners. What that does is it gives you an opportunity to reach out to local people and local businesses that you need to reach. For B2B, it's absolutely fantastic. It can work for B2C, but the real power here is with B2B, in my opinion. So with this, with my answer comes, yes, it is absolutely golden for local business owners. It enables you to reach out to more people. Potentially, people may not have time to have a meeting with you, but a weekly set time webinar is something that they can get used to happening and potentially connect with you that way. What time should you do one for? That entirely depends on who you're trying to reach and what their general daily flow is like. Generally in the afternoon, mid to late afternoon is better. It gives you the chance to go ahead and make yourself available at a time when they are either trying to learn at that time of the day or they're trying to catch up with strategies for the next day. The late afternoon is really quite a good one. Moving on to number 6, digital gifts. So databases are a great example of this. If you give somebody a database that is worth its weight in gold, they will remember you. The fact is that if you make someone's life easier, if you give them something they didn't have before, they will remember you and they'll remember you fondly. At the same time, if your service or your product is databases, that's a fantastic way to give them a taster of the quality and the depth of your leads. Obviously, this differs depending on your product or your service. Tailor it to what is relevant, tailor it to what they need, tailor it to what will make their day brighter or better or both. If you can make them laugh, if you can make their day go a bit smoother, that is your Goldilocks zone for remembrance. Number 7, top 100 leads. So top 100 lists are really golden. What you need to remember with top 100 lists is that these are potentially hugely varied. You can do many different types of top 100 lists, anywhere from things like celebrity top 100 lists, top 100 earners in a certain sector, top 100 earners within a large company. Lists are absolutely vital, and you can pull a hell of a lot of information from them. And you can also extrapolate a lot more from those, even further. "30-minute free consultations." Now, 30 minutes is generally the go-to amount of time that people offer consultations for. It enables you to take more calls in the day while also getting to the point a lot quicker in the call and being a lot more punchy, valuable to the client on the spot right then when you need to be. It prevents any time wastage, and it does place a high value on your time. That gives you a really great footing to figure out how you can help people further, but also it gives you the potential for gathering more connections in your network. Before I dive into the process, just referring back to the comments. Hi Clifford. Hi Joanne. My name's Jeff. I'm the Customer Success Manager at GoPinLeads. Our Chief Raj is watching. Raj is our brain box behind absolutely everything we do in our driving force. I just wanted to make it clear that I'm doing the webinar today, and Raj is always available for your questions, and I'm going to dive into the process. All right, the process of email growth marketing. First of all, find email addresses. Cliff notes here is that you can use GoPinLeads for that, but we'll get to that in a moment. Draft your email. Drafting your email is really important. So we'll get to more detail on that in the course. The next step is to create email templates. Templates are the bones of your campaign, and you'll fill that in with your draft and connect that up to your campaign tool. Then you'll want to develop your landing page. The landing page is the link that you'll be including in your email. The landing page is where people will effectively land, hence the name, once they click on the link. And it's going to be a short, punchy one-pager that's going to really explain what you are, what you offer, and why you got them to click. The next step is to analyze data. This makes you fully aware of what worked, what didn't work, what content worked, what subject lines worked, what combinations did provide results, and it gives you a good footing to rinse and repeat. Hi, thanks Clifford. I'm just looking at the comments here. Thanks Clifford, thanks Eric. Very nice to see you both here. All of you are massively welcome. Let's dive in to a bit more depth on these 6 points. Step 1, finding email addresses. As I mentioned, GoPinLeads is the answer there. GoPinLeads, www.gopinleads.com. Local leads finder, you can find company and individual emails, phone numbers, employee job titles, social media accounts, and company addresses. This is a goldmine for contacting businesses that you need to sell to. GoPinLeads has 2 iterations. I'm going to have a practical section on this course after this little presentation, and you'll be able to follow and see a real-time demonstration of how to use the tool and how to patch it through with YAM. Moving on to step number 2, you want to set up your emails. This is YAM, the tool that I mentioned that patches in beautifully with GoPinLeads using Google Sheets. YAM stands for Yet Another Mail Merge. It's a great tool. It allows you to use your own domain or create a new one. It gives you access to measurement tools for your campaign as well. It patches into your Google Docs, your Google Sheets, and your Gmail drafts. Now, you would obviously draft your email in Gmail Drafts, and Google Sheets is where your database would be. It interfaces between the two, and that is how the magic happens. Let me show you how. You create an email template, which is step 3. First of all, the subject line. This is something that hardly anyone gets right. I say that with a smile on my face because I fail at this weekly. Subject lines are a trial and error practice at all times. So essentially what you're going to have to do is figure out a non-robotic, non-salesy, non-annoying way to word your subject line. Be vague is a really good way to go. Being vague builds intrigue, but at the same time, being too vague can be annoying. Think about the message. What is the message of your email? Before you actually start typing the body of your email, it's important that you actually know exactly what you want to communicate. Equally important, the wording should be as if it is from a friend. You don't want to be overly stiff, overly formal. Be friendly, be personable. Keep the email short, like I said a bit earlier on in the webinar. Nobody's going to read a long email. Nobody has the time. It's off-putting. They open it, they close it, they forget about it. Also, don't forget the link to your landing page. Your landing page is where all of your conversions are going to happen. It is absolutely vital. Looking into your emails a little bit deeper, including a banner is a powerful thing to do because it makes your company and your image very visual, and it helps people's attention to be grabbed as well. This normally goes at the end in the form of a footer in your email. Also, you want to localize. Your emails include any relevant addresses and contact numbers. If you have global locations, ensure that you put those details down. Develop variations of your email. Measure what works, what doesn't work. Kill what doesn't work and continue using what does work. Always try and make it better. Bear in mind that in your quest to improve your email, you may absolutely destroy it, but that in itself is valuable because it's another learning curve. Never be afraid of learning. Never be afraid of failure. Never be afraid of getting an email saying, please unsubscribe me. It is absolutely valuable. Every single reaction to your email is extremely valuable to your growth curve, to your learning curve, and to your future success. On that point, include an unsubscribe option. In many places, not having one is illegal, almost everywhere, in fact. You need to have it there. It also shows that you're willing to be upfront, transparent. You're not trying to get in there and be an unmovable force. It's an important one. Include the unsubscribe link. When it comes to linking to your localization links, when it comes to using your banner, when it comes to using your landing page link, you have an option between using graphic or text-based links. Use your best judgment there. Usually banners will always be graphic links. And then with your text-based links, as you can see on your screen here, doing that for numbers, the unsubscribe, and in usual everyday cases, using that for your landing page link is the best way to go as well. It keeps the size of your email short and it reduces clutter. On that note, keep an eye on the dimensions of your email. Make sure that none of the images are too huge. That's very off-putting and they take a long time to download. And sometimes they even just get kicked back and they don't get sent through. Also, make sure that your email is well edited. Make sure it looks good. If it doesn't, it's not going to retain interest for very long. Pause here just to reference the questions as well. Just want to say again, if you are still watching on the GoPinLeads website, you can launch the video through to YouTube's site itself, and that'll give you the opportunity to see and ask questions in the comments section. Clifford asked, Jeff, I heard that the first email should usually be to initiate a conversation, not promote an offer. Are you all referencing the landing page on the initial email? Look, that is completely down to what you're offering and the approach that you're taking. It is usually better, in my opinion, not to just jump and throw your offer straight down people's throats. But at the same time, the other side of the coin is that in certain industries, people feel like their time is too precious for multiple emails, and they'd appreciate it if you got to the point. Essentially, what you need to decide is the general attitude of your people receiving your emails, of your targets, of your leads. So one of these things, one of the questions that people ask when I say that is, well, how am I supposed to do that? And the answer in general is to try. Sometimes you'll fail, sometimes you'll succeed. Just try different things. You can never read someone's mind. It's not a realistic expectation to have of yourself or your sales team, if that's relevant to your situation. And sending out small batch emails, 5 to 10 at a time, means that you can really gauge reactions on a real-time basis with your target audience without ever compromising your entire list or alienating your entire list if something you do turns out to be totally catastrophic. The likelihood of that is very small because, of course, you're using your best judgment in sending these emails, and you would vet them according to your internal protocols and your values. Anything that you send out does represent you, but at the same time, anything that comes down to wording or strategic placement of links and stuff like that, you can go ahead and play with. It is the best way to learn. I hope that is helpful to you, Clifford. I hope that answers your question. If not, let me know, and I'll have another smash at answering that one. So, Juan, for me, GDPR is something that I'm still wrapping my head around completely. What I will do is I will include a helpful link for you to get your head around that. Additionally, I'll be including links to our Facebook communities. Those Facebook communities, Sales Leads and Prospecting, and the GoPinLeads community are golden resources for connecting in within those communities with people who are in those industries, similar industries to you. Everyone who's looking for B2B leads and is getting some success there are in those groups. And what that enables you to do is discuss issues that are changing with changing compliance regulations like GDPR and a few others in real time in those groups. So what I'll do is I'll send you a link for GDPR compliance notes, and I'll also include the link to the Facebook groups right at the end of the webinar. Okay, so the follow-up is also very important for your email campaign. Only do one follow-up email per campaign. You don't need to do more. You don't want to spam people, and you don't want to make people feel like you're trying to pester them. Remind them about the deadline. Always have a deadline for your offer. Deadlines keep people awake, they keep them engaged, and they include a sense of urgency. I'll get more into FOMO and the sense of urgency a bit later on. But essentially what you want to do is make them feel like this cannot wait and they need to jump right now. That is a very old sales trick, but it is a very effective one because it just never changes. People have a very, very major, persistent, and present fear of missing out. You'll want to provide them with the link again. So here in this example, referencing back to your question, Clifford, yes, you would in this example send the link in the first email, but there are a few examples of scenarios where that would not be appropriate, a few industries where that would not go over well. In this scenario, though, that is the way that we've gone. Providing with a sign-up link again means that they don't have to go rootling through their emails to find it in the previous one. And it also is just super helpful, super easy, and that's an added incentive. If you can add a sense of ease to someone's day, they'll thank you for it and they'll remember you. Coming to terms with your landing page is what we're going to do now, and it's a very important step. So, your landing page is where your link in your email will lead to. You can use HTML, you can use a tool. Tools that we like to use include LaunchRock and Instapage. Really good, really potent tools, and they have a lot of good inclusions for you to connect them up with the rest of your business tools. Your landing page needs to have an introduction and a testimonial at the very least. You need to have images on there, potentially a picture of your testimonial giver, which is important. Names, titles within their companies, company names if you can. That will allow you to be really transparent, really relevant, and show that real people in the real world are using your tool to a really good level of success. Keep your introduction, just to bounce back for a moment, keep your introduction really short, keep it to the point. Nobody's going to read long-winded content. It's just not going to go very well. Here we come full circle back to the concept of FOMO, creating a fear of missing out, a bit of urgency. This is where your countdown goes on your landing page. You'll want to have a form directly below that. You can capture the level of detail that you need: first name, last name, email address, potentially telephone number as well, if that is what you require. Remember that you don't want to ask for too much information up front, but having a first name, email address, and last name is really useful. Moving on to step number 5. We're going to analyze the data that we have collected during the process of the campaign. This is where YAM is absolutely gold once again. You'll want to analyze the data that YAM shows you. It'll give you a full breakdown on what has worked, what hasn't worked, and what can be done better. It's not going to tell you that your subject line wasn't great, but what it will do is it'll tell you what bounced, what was clicked, what was opened, and what was unsubscribed. What you're going to want to do is go to add-ons from your Google Sheet file menu, go to add-ons, YAM, and open tracking report. It might say YAM, it might say yet another mail merge. When you know what has worked, when you know what hasn't worked, when you have a sense of what is going on with your campaign, repeat, repeat, repeat. Do it again, relearn the lessons, and refine your approach. Adjusting your approach is going to make all the difference, and it's going to make you a pro at what you're doing. You're going to be a lead finding machine, and you're going to be a conversion bomb. So what you have here is refine your email target. Try new sectors, new locations, geographies, new job titles. Try different people within the businesses you're connecting with. Offer new incentives within the emails and landing pages. If you keep the incentive the same, it gets boring. Nobody's going to remain interested or engaged with something that stagnates. People walk away really quick. Attention spans are low, lower than they've ever been. So what you need to do is change the incentive, be relevant, and be useful. As always, value depends on relevancy and usefulness. If you're neither, you're not very valuable. Checking those boxes is obviously the best scenario that you can achieve. Change your banners with every email. Again, you don't want any stagnation to creep in. Okay, that brings us to the end of our session there, which is not the end of the webinar, just the end of the section of the webinar where we're doing the presentation. I would like to show you now, practically, how to use the tools and how to make these steps come alive. I see your comments there in this comments section. Amma, leave that with me. What you can do is I will pop my email address for you in the chat section right at the end. If you pop me an email there, and a quick reminder, I will absolutely send you the resources that you require, or at the very least, some very useful tips. Another question that has come in is from Happiness Checklist. How much does YAM cost? The costing for YAM starts at 0, so 50 leads a day, 50 emails out a day. That's free. If you want to go further, it goes up from there. I don't know the pricing for YAM off the top of my head, but I know that it's not too much to step up to about 400 emails a day. I hope that answers your question, Happiness Checklist. Also, big shout out to Raj. Thank you so much for interacting in the comments. Guys, in case you didn't know, Raj is the chief. He's the brain box. He's the co-founder. He's absolutely the heart of GoPinLeads. And the fact that he's here in our webinar interacting in the comments is really powerful. Thanks for that. And it is so cool to have you here. So cool to have you all. So let's jump into the actual practical exploration of this. As I mentioned earlier, GoPinLeads has 2 versions. So you have a Chrome extension, which is in the Chrome store. So have a look in there. All you would need to do is go into the Google Chrome store and look for GoPinLeads. And search through. The other way to use GoPinLeads is in our web app. Our web app is another form of GoPinLeads, and it's a really powerful tool. It works in very much the same way, but I'll show you a little later as well 2 different ways that these work right at the end of the webinar. First of all, I'm going to show you the Chrome extension. Using the GoPinLeads Chrome extension requires you to open up Google Maps. It's really quick, it's really easy, and it's so quick that I'm going to encourage you not to blink. I will, of course, repeat if required. So here we go. What you're going to want to do is search for your target in the area you're looking at. So, for example, I'm going to go ahead right now and I'm going to look for hair salons, and I'm going to look for that in Chelsea, Massachusetts. Once Google Maps has loaded your results, you can change the area that you want to search, obviously through the maps functionality of zooming in and out. as well as clicking the search this area, which will update based on the focus of your window. Then in the top right-hand corner, you will see your GoPinLeads Chrome extension that we downloaded from the Chrome Web Store. When you click on that the first time, you'll have to sign in, but I, of course, have already done that. So once you've signed in and you click on the Chrome extension button, up pops a list of businesses. I'm going to select all and scroll down to the end. If there's someone that you don't want to target, potentially someone that you know is not interested or someone that you want to leave out for any other reason, you can deselect them manually. But for this example, I'm going to select all 21 results. Here you can see the number of results returned. Very helpful. I'm going to press Add Businesses. That's going to pull them through to the next page. And this is where my leads can be found. Once again, I'm going to say select all, bearing in mind that if you wanted to exclude Misty, Leslie, or Tammy, or any of the others, you could deselect them manually. For this example, though, once again, I'm selecting all. 31 results right at the bottom. Once again, is where you can see the number of selected results. I'm going to go ahead and add leads. Now, these are going to be sent through to you. And it's going to be sent through to the email that you signed up with. By pressing Export Businesses and Leads, it'll send you that email through. So while that's working, it'll be very quick, and I'm going to show you the GoPinLeads web app. GoPinLeads is a fantastic tool using the web app as well. Slightly different, but very much the same in the way that it operates. I'll get into the differences in the tips and tricks section at the end of the webinar just before we close. Looking for leads here is really easy. Once again, you'll go to GoPinLeads.com, or you can go directly to app.gopinleads.com to go directly to the web app. Here you can sign in. I've already done so. I'm going to do a search. And I'm going to do supermarkets in St. Louis, Missouri. The app then goes through and finds the businesses that I've asked it to find. Once again, I'm going to say select all, and that can be found on the left-hand side of the page. I'm going to go to the top middle point of the page and add businesses. That goes through to the lead tab. Once again, I'm selecting all of them. And then crucially, at the bottom of the list is an option to load more, which I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of. And I'm going to go ahead and add the leads here in the right-hand side of the page. You can see the number of results that you've selected. I'm going to go ahead and press Add Leads. Once again, your email address that you signed up with is inserted, and you press Export Businesses and Leads. Okay, so that's been done. So what you will want to do is you'll want to check your emails and make sure that those have popped through to you. When you receive them, they'll look like this. I'll show you the one that we did from the Chrome extension first for Chelsea, Massachusetts hair salons. You have a couple of options. You can download the results, or you can open it in Google Sheets. which is what I'm going to go ahead and do for this example. While that's opening, I'm going to go back real quick and open up the supermarkets option. I'll show you what happens when you hit download. It downloads an XLS. But once again, I'm going to open it in Google Sheets. So here I have my database. Let's get this ready for using with YAM. So what you'll notice about your database is that on the bottom left in Google Sheets, you'll see 3 tabs. Clicking between these allows you to change between the business information, the leads information, and the leads with no names. Leads with no names are still extremely valuable. Very often, as is the case with Robert, Ricky, Kyla, and Mohan, you can extrapolate the names from there manually. What I'm going to show you here is how to use this tool in relation with the YAM app. What YAM is really good at is connecting your Google Drafts and the database that you have in Google Sheets that pulled through from GoPinLeads. And it uses it to make sure that you are connecting with all of those people via your cold email campaign. So what this means for you is that you'll really want to make sure that you're getting all of those people from your database through to your drafts. So I'm going to show you in real time what that looks like as we go forward. Okay, you're going to want to make a draft. In your email, in your Gmail, you need to make a draft. The draft has 2 different formats depending on the list that you're using. Now, why that matters is, if you're using the Leads tab, where you have a first name and you have an email address, then what you're going to want to do in your draft is you're going to want to use those details to make sure that you are talking to the right person. So the great way to go ahead and do this is to use the curled brackets. If you press the Shift key on most keyboards, it's above the square bracket on your keyboard. And between them include first name. Now, what you'll want to do to make sure that it works correctly is go ahead and copy the words first name from your sheet through to your email draft. That'll take care of any case-related issues. Here's a very short email. This is the test email from the webinar. Cold emailing is an awesomely productive way of growing your business. Click here to start today with GoPinLeads. Book a call with me below to learn more. So how you'll do that is you'll want to go to here where it says click here to start today with GoPinLeads. You'll want to include your text-based link. That way, when they click on your link, they'll go through to the page that you've specified. Really easy, really quick way of just dropping a link into your email. Now, what I'm going to show you is how to send that email to your list. In your sheet, you're going to first want to make a copy. Go to File menu, select Make a Copy. You can call it whatever you want to call it. In this case, I'm going to call it Supermarkets St. Louis. The reason we make a copy is that because of because of retaining, obviously, the integrity of your initial list for posterity, we don't give you the opportunity to go ahead and edit that. If you make a copy of it, though, you have access to the original, and then in the copy, you can go ahead and make the initial changes that you need to do to make it work with YAM. So what you want to do is anytime you see the first row is not your first your business name or your first name or your heading row, essentially, you want to get rid of that. So here again, on the business page, I'm getting rid of that top row to ensure that my yellow bar, my title bar, is in the first row of the sheet at all times. So clicking through to the leads page, because remember, I do have their first name, and that is what I've put into my draft. So here, I'm going to click on add-ons, yet another mail merge, and start mail merge. That is the very quick way that YAM starts its magical process of connecting with your drafts and sending out your emails. When you click that, YAM starts its magic. From time to time, it may happen that it is a slight delay with YAM. Now, what happens there is in cases like mine, you can see that there is an unhappy little link there. The reason that happened is I am logged into multiple Google accounts, and sometimes that can throw YAM out. That's something I found out by going to the YAM FAQ page and checking out what they had to say for me there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this available to the correct email address. And what that's going to allow me to do is make the changes that I need to do and send this out. So how do you get around being logged into multiple Google addresses on one browser? Well, open another browser. The backup browser I use is Firefox Quantum, and it works really well. So going through to Google Drive from there, once you log in, of course, with the appropriate Google account, you'll have access to what you need. So there you can see the database, really quick, really easy. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you once more how to make a copy. You go File, and you choose Make a Copy. You can call it whatever you like. In this instance, I'm going to keep it as copy of Supermarket St. Louis. That helps you also remember which is which, the original and the copy. Going through, once again, to the leads page. And what that's going to allow me to do is it's going to allow me to once again go to add-ons, yet another mail merge, and start mail merge. The reason that YAM is still here despite switching browsers is that it's an add-on for Google Docs and Gmail. So switching to Firefox doesn't affect that. Remember that Sheets and Gmail all are Google products, which means you log in once and you're connected over both. So I've started the mail merge. YAM is working its magic. and we've gotten a small error there. Let's try again. I apologize for this error. This seems to be a network-related error, but it looks like we're getting somewhere now. Outside, despite this being a very quiet room, there is a storm waging. So with Yam, it gives you the opportunity to send through that email. I've done, in this case, a test email that has come through to me. I'll show you here. And this gives you a breakdown. It's used my name because that's the one that was in the top of my database that I inserted before I sent it. And here you have my copy, personalized with the name of my client. Now, I'm doing a test email in this webinar because if I don't do a test, then a lot of people are going to get a pretty meaningless email, and I don't want to annoy people for any reason. So this works very similarly. If you want to instead send to your lists with no name, you don't have to go ahead and manually pass out absolutely every name, first name. All you have to do really here is, like we did with the first name section, copy the business name section, go through to your draft. Ideally, you would have a different draft for this and select business name instead of first name. Your email would then read, hi, the business name, and then it would go on from there. Once your campaign has gone out and you want to know how it's been doing, all you have to do is go to add-ons, yet another mail merge, and you want to go through and check the results. Now, the way that'll come through is you will have a list that'll appear here that'll say bounced. If it's bounced, it'll go red. It'll say red, opened, clicked, unsubscribed, or bounced, depending on what action has been taken on the client's side. This is where you're going to find your information about how to react to the various answers that could have happened. Now, this is again what we were talking about in our example section in our presentation. Going to add-ons, Yam, and open your tracking report. This will show you exactly what's going on in your campaign. Alternatively, you can go to yetanothemailmerge.com. Remember that there are dashes, so it is yet-another-mail-merge.com. So, crucially, I want to show you some great hacks to get even more use out of GoPinLeads, and I'm going to show you the two that I can show you practically. I'll show you practically. So, number one, subtracting irrelevant leads. Some of you may have done this in a Google search in your life. Works very much the same for GoPinLeads. For those of you who haven't, I'll explain briefly. What this allows you to do is to remove any keywords that you don't feel are a good fit for the leads that you're looking for. Using the dash or subtract prefix symbol removes keywords that you don't want. For example, subtract coffee shops, restaurants, and so forth. Number two, using reviews. Niche searches work best using Google Maps and the GoPinLeads Chrome extension combined. The reason for this is that the tool searches through reviews, and that actually boosts accuracy. So if you're looking for real niche stuff, specific types of restaurants, so on, that is what you would do. Number three, hospitality, hotels, accommodation. So these keywords such as hotels, are best found using the web app So whereas niche searches work best using Google Maps and the Chrome extension, hotels, accommodation, and so on, hospitality keywords such as hotels is best in the web app. And this is simply because Google on their side has removed data to make money selling rooms from Google Maps. Number 4, city discrepancies. This is a fix if you are finding leads that are not from the same city. What you want to do is add the city name in the text filter box alongside the country name. So I'm going to show you those hacks right now so you can see what I'm talking about, and you can implement them yourself as well. So here, once again, we have Chelsea, Massachusetts, and I'm going to change this to mechanics just for the sake of differentiating on this. All right, going through, you will see that you can once again click on the GoPinLeads web extension, Chrome extension rather, sorry, over here in the top right hand corner. Again, I'm selecting all, going through to add businesses. And this is where one of our tips really kicks in. Number 4, add the city name in the filter box alongside the country name. So what you would do is in the app itself over here, you would add, once again, Chelsea, Massachusetts. USA, potentially. And that would give you the full number of, potentially a greater number of results. It would also reduce the number of results if there were any irrelevancies in there. Cool. So if we're looking at other options, we're going to say mechanics. And this is for our tip number 1. Our tip number 1, of course, using the subtract prefix. So what I'm going to do here is look for mechanics, subtract bike. So I don't want motorbike mechanics. I want car mechanics, body panel, panel beaters, and all the rest of it. So that has reduced bike from my results. So any motorbike technicians won't be included. When I then go through and use the Chrome extension to find what I'm looking for. So that brings us to the ending point of our webinar today. I see the questions are being fully manned by our Chief Raj. Thank you so much, Chief, for that. And thank you very much for your questions there, Juan. It's amazing to have this much interaction. It's really good. And always encouraged. So what I'm going to go ahead and do now for all of you is I'm going to include those links that I promised you. While I'm doing that, I want you to go ahead and feel welcome to ask any questions that may occur to you, and we can get those answered now if you like. So first link that I'm going to give you while we wait for any questions that come through is for the GoPinLeads Facebook group. Now, that's a fantastic place to go and find support from the team, as well as tips, tricks, hacks, and general love from the community. Very active, very responsive community, and it is a great place to learn. Next up, get your content in order, figure out your sales strategy, the Sales Leads and Pro Content Facebook group. The link is in the comments there as well. If you're still watching on the GoPinLeads website, launch your video through into YouTube's native site and you'll be able to see the comments and click on these links that I'm providing here. Also, I'm going to give you the GoPinLeads Chrome extension URL. It'll take you smack bang straight to the Chrome extension where you'll be able to download it to Google Chrome. Remember, that won't work in Firefox, the Chrome extension. So also, I'm going to give you the GoPinLeads web app, and what you can go ahead and do with that is find leads and make your sales successful, more successful than it's ever been. I'm also going to give you the URL for Yam. Yam is the yet another mail merge tool, and that's going to give you that patch through that I showed you and manage your campaigns in real time. Also, LaunchRock, that is a great landing page tool and is going to be really helpful to you in making sure that your business gets where it needs to be. I don't see any further questions in the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and close the webinar for today. We've gone a little bit over time, and I'm going to thank you all for coming in. Thank you for spending time with us and learning more about GoPinLeads. I want to extend the invitation to all of you again to keep an eye on the GoPinLeads webinar page. We are going to be doing another webinar like this one about GoPinLeads, Yam, and integrations next week. Every week is slightly different. The questions are always amazing. And you can set reminders for yourself to not miss that. You can send your sales team here so that they're also equipped next week, Wednesday, same time, same place, to get the sales success that you are achieving. Spread the love, get people involved, and I'll see you here same time next week. Additionally, I'm going to quickly pop for you in the comment section my email address. So any questions that you have or any additional feedback that you're after, you can pop me an email and I'll be able to respond straight away. When you send me your email address, what I'm going to do is also send you my other contact details so we can be fully in contact and I can help you always be successful with GoPinLeads. Emma, I hope that you've seen my email address. It's just above your comment there. Martin, I'm going to drop you an email now, and then we can have a good chat. I will talk to all of you again next week. Invite your friends, invite your family, anyone that needs help with their B2B email growth marketing strategy. Have a great day further, and have a powerful week.